anymore. You'd be holding something in that hand, and this hand you'd forget about. This hand you'd be concentrating on. That hand you'd go, what did I have there? I don't even remember.
You, of course, know his voice as soon as you hear it. Known for his roles in Aladdin, Beverly Hills Cop II, and, of course, his stand-up. And now the late, great, legendary comedian Gilbert Gottfried is being honored with a special album release party in November. And the event also highlights never-before scenes from the documentary Gilbert, followed by an all-star panel to discuss his legacy. And I'm joined now by his wife, Dara Gottfried, and close friend, Richard Kind. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. Dara, what inspired you to organize this event?
Well, you know, I bugged Gilbert for years to put out an album. He never had an album of his original stand-up, and that was because he didn't really write new material, and he didn't want to use up his material, and he thought people wouldn't go see his live shows, and unfortunately now that's not an issue. And so I was inspired to put out his first and unfortunately last comedy album of his original stand-up.
And Richard, why did you want to be part of this benefit evening?
I didn't want to. I had no desire. I want to stay home. I want to make dinner. He still is the funniest around. I happen to love Dara. I really know Gilbert and Dara, not just Gilbert, because I didn't know Gilbert until I knew Dara. I know them as a couple. I was lucky enough to know Gilbert, to get to know him later on. But I remember seeing him, and I've told him this, and I've told you guys. I saw him when I was a senior, like a senior in college. This is many years ago. I saw him at the Improv. It might have been 11 or 12 at night. And it's etched in my mind. It was as if he wanted the audience to leave one by one because nobody was laughing, and I was roaring, and he was doing some of his stuff, and it was so original and filthy and wild, and people weren't getting it, and it was hilarious. And I remembered that very clearly, so that later, many years later, 30 years later, when I met him and got to know him, he had morphed into this thing that I so remember, that's so distinct in my mind, that to get to know him, I sometimes got scared around him because I knew how brilliant he was.
Wow, amazing. And I know you guys became friends through Gilbert's podcast as well.
Yes.
I want to play a clip now that I believe has never been seen or shown before.
That's
All right,
correct.
Let's take a look.
Jerry Seinfeld as Hamlet. To be or not to be? I don't know if I should be or not. Who are these people that be?
Well, Richard, that night they got the jokes, and of course he became so well known.
He's iconic.
Famous, yeah.
Really, his humor and the man himself and the voice is iconic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Yep.
But what made him that way? I mean, you're an actor and comedian as well. What do you?
No, I'm not a comedian.
Comedic
which
actor.
is really, really important to know.
Yeah.
There are many people who will be there on this night who are out-and-out comedians. That's what they do. They do what Gilbert did. They act. You know, that's because there's money in acting. But they travel around and they tell jokes like Gilbert did, and knew Gilbert, you know, at clubs and would go out for drinks and talk about stuff. We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Okay. Yeah. Comedic actor.
But I am
Sometimes.
a comedic actor.
Yes.
Yes.
And you are funny.
Okay. So you say?
Dara, this is all a fundraiser for the
Yes.
foundation. Explain to us what that's about.
So when Gilbert passed, I started the Gilbert Gottfried Myotonic Dystrophy Type 2 Research Fund at Strong Memorial Hospital in Rochester to raise money and raise awareness for a disease that most people have never heard of before and can't even say.
And this foundation is already doing great work.
Yeah, actually, I just heard from the doctor yesterday that 4 new studies have started with the money that we've raised so far in Gilbert's honor.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So-
I got to admit, I did not know about this. I thought this was just an album release. I think it's great.
Thank you.
That this is
100% of the proceeds
I
are
don't
going
think
towards
Gilbert would
charity.
approve of it at all.
He would have wanted to
Yes.
keep every dollar.
Yes.
Nope.
Hey,
sorry.
no. This is about my album. This is about me.
I want to
I'll tell you something else. I bet Gilbert is shocked that we are still smiling,
Yeah.
are still screaming and smiling and laughing at him after he's gone. I think he'd love it beyond.
I agree.
But I bet he would be shocked.
Richard Kind, Gilbert Gottfried, I want to thank you so much for being with us, and I want to tell people the event's taking place November 13th at the Hard Rock Hotel here in the city. And of course, you know, you and Gilbert lived in Chelsea, you all New Yorkers, and it's a great New York event celebrating a New York comedian. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.